Alright, so usually in order to solve a problem, you're going to have to get through 8 steps. And always follow them through. So let's start with the first one. So the first thing you want to do is visualize your problem. Now when you visualize your problem, this means what are they asking me? What are my knowns? What are my unknowns? So that leads me to the second thing, which is to write down your knowns, which are, for example, g is for gravity, or what is the velocity that they give you, as well as your unknowns. And these could be what are they asking you to solve for, or even intermediate variables that you might not know. So just write down and put them all on the top of a sheet of paper, the first thing you could do as soon as you know what your problem is. Now the third thing is to do your free body diagrams. Now this you always do. Write down all your free body diagrams for all the parts of the system as well as your whole system. So what's an example of this? Say you're on the top and you have a little pulley here. Well, you have one block here and another block hanging, and they're connected by a rope. So now the thing is, you're going to have one, which is going to be of 1, and 2. So you have mass 1, you have mass 2, and they give you, hey, what's the velocity of 2 after 3 seconds? Okay, so in this case, first thing you want to do, okay, so you know that this is going to kind of go whoop, and it's going to go down. 2, write down knowns and unknowns. So you know that your mass is m1. Say that they give you 5 kilograms, so you go ahead and write 5 kilograms. Then your m2 could be 2 kilograms, right? And then again they say time equals 2 seconds, or 3 seconds, sorry. 3 seconds. You write these at the top of your sheet of paper, and then it's time for your free body diagrams. And coming here, this is for M1. You're going to go ahead and say, okay, so you have some mg pointing downwards because of your gravity. Then you have some normal force. Then you're going to have this tension force from this. Now, similar thing goes for M2. What you want to do is mg and then tension. Now, once you have this, you go ahead and do your whole system. So what's going to happen to the whole system? The whole system is going to get accelerated in some way. It really doesn't matter which way you do it, down or up, because of the whole pulley system is going to throw you off. But in one way, it's going to get accelerated by some mg. Now this m is not necessarily either of the two, it's actually both. But that's for another video. So once you have all your free body diagrams, you're going to have a mess of equations. Say for example for M2, they had a tension going up and an mg going down, m2g. So then one equation for this is going to be tension equals m2g plus, So you're going to have your total force equals your tension minus m2g. And now this total force is going to be your total mass of this system times the acceleration. Now this total mass is going to be 2. Now say for example, instead of this, you had the whole system. Something's going to happen to the whole system. Now the whole force, remember we had no idea where it went first, is going to equal the total mass times the acceleration. And in this case, this is going to be m1 plus m2. So now once you have this, you could go ahead and write down all of your equations. You write down your equations, and then you make some type of, you could just say, make a system of equations. Make a system of equations. Once you have this, the last thing you want to do about your equations are going to be make a constraint. Now this constraint is usually simple, something that you could overlook. So in this case, we had the pulley over here and these two things. In this case, it's that they both move in the same direction. They both have, well, not the same direction, but at the same time. They both have the same acceleration, and that's going to be your constraint. That the acceleration of 1 is going to equal the acceleration of 2. And then you add that to this system of equations, and then you just solve. And then there's some little things that you might want to do. So you might have a sanity check, which is, does this sound fine? It might, go, the velocity might be 3, or maybe you ended up with something like 4,000. If it's 4,000, it's probably not right. So you go back and check what you did. That's what I mean by sanity check. And then the last part is to check your units. Just make sure that whatever answer you get at the end is something that you're looking for.